Hey everyone, welcome back to Breeze Flippers. I'm David, and this is kind of our Tuesday update. So thought I'd go ahead and give an update today instead of waiting till the midweek because we had some sales going out. Actually got 5 sales going out today, and I think we sent out another, we had an additional 2 sales come in on Sunday night, and then we shipped out 2 more yesterday. So not too bad. Got a little bit of a good week going. I'm kind of excited about that. It's good to kind of see things get fired back up. Vacation, I'm sorry, I still believe kills your business. Anybody that can say otherwise, please let me know, because I'd be curious to see how yours does when you're on vacation. But I thought we'd talk a little bit about what sold. Also, as we kind of rolling into this fourth quarter, we're kind of starting to cruise in a little bit. I've noticed some interesting trends. Kind of wondering if anybody's seen the eBay ads. We'll talk a few minutes about that. I want to talk a minute about some AI tools and some other things that are kind of on my mind regarding the economy. So let's dig in. All right, so first of all, like I said, we'll talk about what sold, and we'll get some subjects in between there and try to keep things spicy today, and not too long. So I know everybody's busy and you got better things to do, like reselling. So, but we did have a couple sales go out, and both of them were hats. That was Sunday night. Came in after the end of the week, so I thought I'd show that real quick. I'm gonna pop these up on the screen because they're obviously shipped already. But we did sell a Clockworks black beanie stocking cap. This is like a motorcycle gear accessory hat. Kind of a cool little hat. I picked it up for very little money. I think I paid $1. It was at a Pensacola garage sale. I bought a couple hats, so there's another one out there somewhere. I might have already sold it, but it was a cool little beanie. Actually got $16.71 for that. It got free shipping. It cost $4.99 to ship, so it wasn't too bad. I sold a Stars and Stripes red, white, and blue patriotic baseball cap. So I bought a whole bunch of these at one time. Matter of fact, it still says I have 16 available. So if you need a patriotic hat, feel free to send me an offer. I'm selling them good. Anyway, this was sold for $8.49. It actually got $4.99 shipping on it. But like I said, I got a bunch of these. Those ship easy, and they're all brand new. So sold some more Hallmark from that Hallmark buy, which I'm excited about because we debated long and hard about that buy, and we didn't pay a ton of money for all the ornaments that we bought in the Department 56. I want to say it was $130 total for everything, but we're starting to see that money kind of come back. So actually sold some Hallmark nostalgic houses and shops ornaments. There's a lot of 5. There was 1 duplicate in there of 2 of the same house. Got $19 for that though, and I think it was $7.99 shipping because I had to put them I basically bubble wrapped them, put them in a nice box. They ship pretty well. So also sold another adult magazine, Playboy magazine, April 2007 with Ashley Massaro on it. And that one sold for $2.65, and we got $7.99 shipping. So that's been pretty good. So that's kind of when it went out yesterday. But I wanted to kind of ask you guys, so I thought this was kind of interesting. Has anyone actually noticed the TV commercials for eBay? I've been catching them like all over the place on every kind of channel. So I'd just be sitting around going, hey, an eBay ad. They seem to be highlighting collectibles, some of fashion. Some of the fashion ones might be a little bit older, but the collectible ones, but they're leaning really hard into the stories. Not so much, hey, this is where to buy them, but they're really leaning into the kind of the stories. Like, you know, the guy talking about his rings, and there was another one, I can't recall what they all were, but I thought they were good ads. And we haven't seen them do a marketing push like this. Seems like for a while. You know, they did really big when it was the car parts and all that stuff, which, you know, that's a big part of their business as well. But I kind of like the way that they're pushing these. You know, they're really setting it up as a destination for collectible hunters. So for people that sell collectibles like myself and a lot of you guys, this is great. This is good news. So I think it's really about nostalgia marketing and not just bargain hunting, which is really cool. So I think it's finally, maybe they're embracing a little bit about what's made eBay special to a lot of us. So the hunt for something rare, personal, or vintage. So I don't know. Let me know what in the comments. Have you seen these ads, and do you think eBay's finally getting it right? I'm just curious. So because I think this is a good thing for us and a good thing for business. So let's talk about what's sold recent now. First of all, I will tell you this. I was so excited to see this sell because it had been sitting, not in my inventory, but it's been sitting in our CD collection forever. I have no idea why we never posted it before, or we just kind of kept it. But this is actually, and I've got them wrapped, so I'm not going to unwrap them, but you kind of see one side and the other. This is a Disney Tarzan CD. These are numbered. One of these is numbered 2,411 out of 50,000. It's a 1999 lenticular cover. And then there's another one inside as well that's also part of that. So this was something I'm sure Sherry probably picked up when she worked at the Disney store. But these are good collectible ones. This sold for $19.99. It will go out free shipping, and it is media mail, so that makes it, you know, fairly reasonable. But it's been sitting around. It's not something that we went out and bought or picked up. It's something we bought a long time ago. It's just been sitting in our house. So I heard something this morning on a podcast, and I don't know, I can't remember which one it was, but they were saying, which one was it? I'll think of the podcast in a minute. Anyway, they were saying that they heard something from James Ione, the CEO for eBay, that he had stated that there's between $3,000 and $4,000 of potential things to sell in everybody's household. Maybe, I don't know. I know there is in mine, but I don't think it would have been when I first got married or anything. So I don't think we would have had that kind of stuff. But hey, it's very possible. That was something, as an explanation, that was sitting around, and it could have been sold a long time ago. We sold some more Hallmark ornaments. So these sales keep on going. They're still popping up. So again, because I put listings up about 10 to 15 every day, they go live. Some of these are still out there coming up for listing. But this one literally listed on the 24th of October. So in 4 days. But this is the Hallmark Journey into Space Ornament Freedom. This is Freedom 7, Friendship 7, and the Lunar Rover. So I think there's one more that would make the 4, but I didn't have that one in that buy. But these are 4, and they're all like fairly brand new. So this sold for $39.99, and I'll go be honest with you, I think I'm getting $7.99 shipping or somewhere like that, because it's a fairly good size box. But I was excited to see that go. There's another one. This is a camera. I'll have to pop this one up on the screen because it's in the bag and it's already loaded, so I don't really want to take it out of there. But this is an Olympus VR 320 digital camera. It's a 14 megapixel camera with a 12.5 super wide zoom. Comes with the 4 gigabyte card. It was tested, it worked great. Picked this up, probably showed that video at one point. I think in the picking that we picked it up. I think we got both of them for $20, 2 cameras. So this one was $10. Ended up getting $59.49 for it. It was on sale for $69.99. The guy sent me an offer for $50, which honestly is a fair offer. Would have still been pretty good, but with 5 watchers on it and it just listed on the 23rd of October, I was like, I can drop it 15%. But I'm going to probably wait a couple weeks before I drop it much more than that. So I said, I'll take $59.49 for it. And he bought it because I'd already sent out an offer for that same price, I think. So anyway, I thought that was cool that he came back and bought it. Lots of fun. So, hey, digital cameras, guys, if you got them, get them listed. They do sell, especially the ones with the higher megapixels. Or if they have any kind of unique functions or abilities, they do sell very well. Sold another one of these. Yes, this is a second one of these now. I have no more available. But this is Playboy September 1991, Samantha Dorman Barbie twins. So Barbie twins, they must be pretty popular. I guess they were. I don't remember the Barbie twins. Anybody remember the Barbie twins? I don't remember them. Anyway, I guess I didn't really care. This is 1991. I was in college. I wasn't probably thinking about that stuff. I was married and trying to figure out how to pass calculus. Anyway, so I was probably more worried about that. All right, then the last thing that we sold, and this is still, that one, Dove magazine, $2.65, $7.99 shipping. We sold another one of these little creatures. And let me see if I got to see if I got, did I get shipping for this one? I sure did. Oh, we darn. Okay, see, some of these I put free, some of them I didn't. This was a Pokemon Center Venonat. Yeah, Venonat. That's what it looks like. Venonat plush. Anyway, it's brand new with tags. And it's a little 5-inch plush. Very cute. You can't really see him very well. Maybe I'll pop him up too. But well, yeah, you can see him all right. Anyway, got $31.49 for that. And it's going to get $4.99 shipping. So anyway, not too bad. So far, almost $275 for 2 days. I'll take it. That's what we got for an entire week when we were on vacation, or barely that, so I'll take it. So not too bad. We still are running a sale through the end of this weekend, and then I'm going to let it sit for a couple days, and I'm going to start another sale And Sherry and I were talking about this. I think we're going to push a real hard one. This was going to be probably one that's going to clear out a bunch of bins, because we really want to move a bunch of hats and stuff and start clearing out some of the things that are moving slower. So we're going to heavily discount them and make a big difference. So speaking of sales and things we're pushing, I know a lot of you do promoted listings. Some of you do, some of you don't. I just saw something. This came up today, and I hope I don't mess it up because I just moved it. All right, this came up today, but eBay did confirm changes to how they're doing promoted listings visibility. So this came in the EcommerceBytes report today. So anyway, and basically what it's saying is, alongside the brand ads, eBay just made major changes on how they promote listings, how your promoted listings show up in search. So, typically when you pull up a search, the initial search, all of the promoted listings are generally at the top. So according to EcommerceBytes and eBay, they confirmed it, that as of early October, promoted listings will now appear only in the default best match search results. So in other words, the first search, right? So if you keep it at the first search and you just don't change your sort order, which a lot of people do, a lot of people will change it to, say, price plus shipping, lowest first. And as soon as you do that, then the promoted listings no longer show at the top. That's a change. That's a big change. So I find this kind of interesting. So if you're doing promoted listings, I'm just curious, maybe look at your, see how many ads you've been doing, or how many views you've been getting. I didn't even think about this, but for October, I've noticed that we have gone down in our promoted listing views. So that may be the very reason. I was trying to figure out why, because our organic views had increased. So the good news is, if you're basically, if a buyer changes the sort filter, your promoted spot might vanish, which means fewer impressions and less visibility for that. But I think what it tells me is that eBay is really doubling down on their algorithm. They want sellers to compete in the best match, not just rely on a promoted placement, right? So it kind of levels the playing field a little bit, in my opinion. So if you're paying for promoted listings, check your traffic reports. Let me know what you see, okay? I'd be curious to see if anybody else notices this. But I think that you might see less views, but I kind of feel like the clicks could be more relevant. So it's just kind of another reminder that, visibility isn't just about paying for your promotion, your ads, but it's also about optimizing what you have and, earn that placement. So you really want to make sure that you're up there. And hey, like I said, most people, I feel like, go price, shipping, and lowest first. That's what I feel like, at least. That's the way I search when I go to eBay. So if you're in there and you got good shipping, especially for us, a lot of the people that do flat rate shipping, sometimes we get screwed in it. I can tell you that much. You got to ship something to California. It's always that kind of thing, right? But I tend to get a lot of sales, and I notice that a lot of them come from California on the West Coast. So that's kind of interesting. Last week's video on international shipping had pretty good engagement. I was really excited about all the comments that I got, and some really good insight, guys, and some comments that were made a lot of sense to me, right? But I did kind of dig. I still kind of want to dig into this, and I'm still on the fence whether or not I'm not going to do it. But I really think it's going to require some A/B testing. I just have to kind of figure out how to do that A/B testing and see what's going to work for me. And you have to figure out what's going to work for your business, obviously. I mean, I wouldn't just go turn it off. If you're getting international sales right now, I wouldn't turn it off. But if you're not getting any international sales, I don't know if it hurt anything. That's up to you, right? So it depends on the items you sell, depends on what you sell. I sell a lot of collectibles. Sometimes those do sell outside the United States. But what I did confirm, and this was brought up, and it's a very good point, turning off the international shipping does not hide your listings to users outside the United States if they're on eBay.com, right? So if they're on eBay.com, they're still going to see your listings. What it does stop them from doing, though, is buying, right? Because it would say this buyer does not ship to this location. So they could still see your ad. They still could click on your promoted listings. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that still could happen, but they just wouldn't be able to order unless they're ordering through a third-party vendor or somebody that has a U.S. stateside address. Now, a lot of people I know of, I've sold several to the, I can't remember what it is, but it had something to do with, I know they're an exporter that's on the West Coast. I've sold a lot of things to them, and I can't remember, airline something another. Anyway, you probably would know what it is, but I know that they've bought a lot of stuff in the past, and they ship that out overseas. So, but I do want to run a test and kind of see, if this is going to work or what it would, but I really almost have to have two different stores. So I don't know. I'm going to give it some thought. I'd love to know what you guys think. Have you given any more thought? Has anybody tried it? Anybody seen any results? Anybody seen any downside? Just, let me know in the comments. Throw something in there and kind of let me know. Another thing that kind of hit me this week, and it's been on my mind, this whole government shutdown thing. I'm not taking sides, guys. I'm not going to be political in this thing. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle I'm on. I just know it's kind of hurting families, and that's sad. But I do think that this will have ripples in the economy. I do feel like that's going to happen, especially these military families and stuff that aren't getting paid. Just it hurts me. Being a veteran myself, and having my son-in-law is a veteran that's left the military, so I understand. Parents, all those people that are veterans and people that have been in the military and those currently in there right now. I just think it's a rough thing to be going through, but it does affect the economy, I think. But one thing it kind of got me thinking about, is that obviously now as we're coming into this part where some of them actually aren't getting paid, there's a lot of things. So if you got a chance to help, if you can, give it to the food banks, anything you can do. We're trying to do that as well. It's just maybe the right thing to do to try to help it out, and just pray that they get this thing fixed. Come together, people. This is ridiculous. But I kind of wonder, is it going to affect sales in some way? I don't know how many, you think about how many people are on, on government subsidies and different things like that. They're all going to be affected. So this is going to be a tough time. So we may see some dips in the sales in the next few weeks if they don't get this fixed pretty soon. Only because a lot of families aren't going to have as much disposable income. Then again, a lot of families, there may be a lot of people out there that may go into reselling. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Reselling is a great side hustle. Great side hustle. It is to me, it's one of the easiest things you can do. You're not, you can just sell stuff out of your house. And if Ione was right and there's $3,000 to $4,000 sitting in your house, why not get on there and sell it? So we may see an increase in number of resellers. It'll be interesting to see how this all kind of plays out, but I do think it's going to make tighter budgets, and I think we might see more people selling personal items and on Facebook Marketplace as well. So I've kind of seen a spike recently in a lot of Facebook Marketplace ads. I thought that was kind of interesting, ads, but sales of a lot of different things. So maybe that's part of that. I don't know. I'd just be curious to see what you think. Do you think it's going to affect the economy? Do you guys think it's going to do something? I do think that as sellers, it's a good time for us to really kind of focus on value and trust. Make sure that we got good, strong pricing, good, fair pricing, clear photos, get us good shipping, make sure that people are getting what they need right now. And, like I said, we aren't trying to save the world as resellers, but we are trying to, get people the things that they're looking for. But I'll be curious to see how this is going to work out. So hopefully they get it fixed soon. There's something else that's been looking at too. So I'm still looking at I still look at AI tools, guys. And I'd be curious to see out there if any of you have started to work with any of the AI tools. One of the things I wanted to note that I saw something that came up, I think it was just yesterday. It might have just been that recent. But List Easier offered a new tier, finally. Not a tier for like a monthly number, but they offered a $14.99 tier for 100 listings. Not too bad. $1.50 a listing, essentially. If you have 100 listings you got to do really quick, these never expire. Those credits don't expire. So if you had a bunch of stuff that was all similar, maybe worth trying. $14.99 is not too bad. You would at least do that up to the point that you got to, maybe you need to do 300 listings a month. Still cheaper than it's getting close, $69, but you're talking $15, $50, $45 a month for 300 listings. So, but if you're still doing 1,000 listings, I still think that was a good value if you're doing a lot of listings. But I'd be curious to see if anybody else has tried it, had any more experience, because we all know the more everybody uses the AI tool, the smarter it gets. And I've already heard some people talking about that it is getting better at identifying items and actually putting up the right listing information. So I haven't tried it recently. I may try it again for comics to see if it's improved. Comics was the biggest one that I was having problems with. When I put up a description for a comic, and I still use AI, guys. Now, one of the ways I use AI is I basically just copy all of the drafts that I have and put it into a spreadsheet. and I drop that spreadsheet of titles and relevant information into ChatGPT, and I say, bring these back in batches, and I tell it exactly what to do. Gives me a good listing, gives me a strong SEO listing with strong SEO description and all that stuff, and I just copy and paste it into the drafts, right? So I can do 30, 40 listings in really a relatively short time. It does not take me very long at all. I did, I think, 40 something listings in about 40 minutes or 45 minutes maybe. And that's just kind of taking my time. So it's not a hard thing for me to use. It seems to be, it works for me, right? But I didn't like the comics, because the way I do comics is I like to describe a quick description paragraph and then some highlights. And then that's pretty much it. It wanted to list easier, wanted to actually go in and describe what the comic looked like. So I don't think that was really helpful. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know. But I thought that was interesting. But I just be curious to see what you guys are doing, because AI can save you a lot of time. It's especially if you consider, if you look at your dollars per hour, what you're actually making and what you actually do. I'd be curious to see what you guys have done. And I know there's some other things too that we've been thinking about. We've been kind of tossing around the cross-posting again. I don't know. I still, we'd cross-posted everything that we had through List Perfectly. Yeah. Was it List Perfectly? Yeah, List Perfectly. We did everything we had through List Perfectly. I tried Vendoo. I just couldn't, I don't know. Vendoo just didn't work for me, but I did List Perfectly. When it hit the $99, it was just not enough. I wasn't making enough sales elsewhere to really make a difference. And that could be my fault. That could be the items that we were posting and stuff. But we are looking at actually doing some cross-listing. Or what actually I'm looking at is Sherry wants to sell clothing, a lot of clothing. I think she's just going to do that on her own. So we may open up a second store on eBay for just clothing, and then she can cross-list that directly into like Poshmark or Mercari or Depop or wherever. And that won't affect our store that we've had open for a long time with items that are really not clothing. So it's something to do. I'd be curious to see what y'all's take is on it. Have you guys been doing that? Have you tried any cross-listing again? Or is anyone finding a lot of success with cross-listing? So I think it might be a good thing, especially for some of those items like maybe not so much collectibles, but maybe like clothing. It's something to kind of think about and look at. So, oh, what else is going on, guys? So much stuff. I'm still thinking, as far as the fourth quarter goes, I feel like it's kind of picking up. I was looking at my numbers, and it seems like we're even with what we were a year ago, which that's with the vacation. We didn't have a vacation last year, I don't think. So I didn't shut the store down for a whole week at least. I think we did shut it down for a while in October, but we're picking back up. So I think that's going to be good. I think fourth quarter is going to be, I don't know. We'll see. With all the stuff going on, we'll see. I think MasterCard put out an article, or somebody said they predicted the holiday retail sales would be up about 3.5%, with online sales up 8%, which makes sense. Online sales keep going up every year. That's pretty strong, even if the growth overall is kind of slow. I'm thinking maybe now with the eBay, the push that eBay's doing with the ads, maybe we'll get more buyers out here and start kind of thinking a little bit more about the pre-owned market, because I feel like the pre-owned market is really increasing. Oh, that was the other thing I heard this morning too. They noted that many years ago that eBay was 80% new items, and now it's only like 40% new items. And I don't know where that came from, but I did hear that on the podcast. Which podcast was it? So anyway, I listen to a lot of stuff when I ride my bike. So I'm usually a ride, between 12 and 15 miles every morning. And I like to, I used to listen to music. Music's great. It's motivating. It's all fun and like that. But this is my time to kind of really think and kind of get my thought about, what am I doing for the day and all that. And a podcast kind of helps me keep me going. So, and many times people must think I'm nuts because I'll hear something on there and I'll go, what? And I'll yell it out. So anyway, I probably sound like I got Tourette's riding down the street sometimes, but it is what it is. So anyway, I think that, this quarter might be strong if in certain areas and certain aspects. So I'll be very curious to see, what you guys think as well. So leave me a comment. If you've gotten this far, I appreciate you all being here. You get a chance, hit the like and subscribe. We're going to hit 1,000, I hope, by December. It's the goal. And not that that's a big deal, but I don't know. It just feels kind of fun. So it's a nice little goal to have. So, and I appreciate all y'all for being there. I appreciate all the comments that I get and that we get as well. And, Sherry will be on the end of the week video all the time. She's getting more and more comfortable with it. And I appreciate y'all and how you guys have accepted her as well. So, but anyway, keep pushing, guys. Keep doing great things. Keep testing. Keep learning. Let's keep the sales rolling out there. Let me know what's going on with you guys. I hope your week is great. I hope you stay safe. I'm David, Breeze Flippers. We'll see you.